Good afternoon, everyone.
All right, right. Yeah, keep on forgetting that this thing has moved. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Saturday to you. Today is April 6th. And of course, you're tuning into Love 101, the family station. And you're tuning to Sports Talk, most importantly. So, for those who are on Facebook and YouTube, you see me, you see me, you lined up for you today. Thank you so much, Kareem. Another fantastic sports show lined up for you today. Last weekend was Carifta. And yeah, Jamaica, yeah man. I got lots and lots to talk about what happened at Carifta in terms of track and field, but Jamaica also took part in the Carifta Games as it relates to the swimming, and they did pretty well this year. But later in the show, we will be talking to one of the members of the Jamaica Carifta team, that's head coach David Riley, rather. We will speak to him later on in the show. So if you're interested to hear what was really happening behind the scenes, and then we'll talk about a special tweet that I saw from Mr. Riley earlier this week on X, which I found very, very interesting. So, and then there's a Miramar invitational meet happening today in Florida. One of our athletes would have pulled out and have not begun her season. We'll talk about that. And still not, the Jamaica Premier League almost at the playoffs now, and things are really heated up in the English Premier League. We spoke about that last week, but things are really, 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 really heating up as it relates to that. And so much other sports happening, so many other sporting events I want to keep you updated on. It's just another fantastic Saturday here on the number one gospel station, Love 101 FM. And this is Sports Talk. Just in case, you're out there and you're not really interested in sports, I'm really hoping that at some point I can convince you to at least watch a one cricket match or a one track and field meet, or even if you're not interested in sports, at least to tune into the Summer Olympics coming up in Paris. So something. I hope with this show I'm able to convince you to take on just a little sports in your life. We do need some recreational activities sometime, right, Kareem?
100%.
Yeah, man, we need some recreational activities, and I'm hoping that through this show is able to convince you to follow sports a little bit more so that we can, have good conversations about it. Of course, you can also listen to us at love101.org, or if you haven't, and I'm not sure why you haven't as yet, downloaded the Love 101 app found in the App Store or the Google Play Store. People, come on. If you missed the show or you can't get to watch the show or listen to the show at 1 o'clock or any other show that happens here on the family station, come on, man, download the app. And as I said, with the app, it's like you can listen like a podcast. So you don't necessarily, once you open it and start playing, you could be driving, you could be doing something else, but just want to hear what's happening on the station. Download the app. Take it from me. Download the app. Right. So we're gonna get right into it. Yes. we're going to get right into it. And of course, we start with our sports highlights. All right, and as we do every week, we begin our sports highlights with what is happening in our local Jamaica Premier League. So we start with the matches that took place last weekend. Dumber Holding, they were defeated 4-2 by Cavalier. Humble Lion, they were defeated 1-0 by Mount Pleasant Tivoli Gardens. They were 4-1 winners over Lime Hall Academy. Waterhouse, they were 3-0 winners over Malines United. And on Monday, well, that's not true. Another match took place on Sunday. Arnett Gardens, Portmore United, they played to a 1-0 draw. And on Monday, Harborview, they were defeated 3-0 by Mobile United. And Treasure Beach and Vere, they played to a 0-0 draw. So then let's talk about the matches that will come up this weekend as it relates to Jamaica Premier League. And then I will give you, and of course, the point standings as it currently is in the Jamaica Premier League. So the results I just gave you were the results from match week number 25. This week, it will be the match week number 26. And on Sunday, and I'm looking, all the matches look like they've been slating for Sunday. So Mount Pleasant, they will play Lime Hall Academy. That will happen at 3:30 at the Drax Hall Complex. Montego Bay United, they will play Tivoli Gardens, and that will happen at the Catherine Hall Sports Complex, and that's also 3:30. Another 3:30 game on, that's Portmore United versus Humble Lion. That will happen at Fredrida Park. Ferdinita Park, my apologies. Waterhouse versus Harborview, that will happen at the Waterhouse Mini Stadium, and that's happening at 3:30. Treasure Beach, they will play Arnett Gardens, that will happen at Stets. Cavalier, they'll play Malines United, that will happen at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex. And Dumbe Holding, they'll play Vere, and that will happen at the Dumbe Holding Sports Complex. All the matches are slated to start at 3:30, and that is because this is match week number 25. It's the last week before they head into the playoffs, and so because of how things are in terms of the table, to give all teams the same chance to qualify, and no team having the edge over the next by knowing what's happening in terms of the match kicking off before another match, all teams have the same opportunity to make it through to the playoffs in terms of those who are currently in the top 6 or top 7. But we'll tell you. So this is after this is going into match week 25. Right. So Mount Pleasant, they still lead the standings and have qualified for the playoffs. So they are on 56 points. Tivoli Gardens, they're in second on 51 points, same as Cavalier, but Tivoli Gardens having a better goal difference of 4 more than Cavalier. Portmore United, they're in fourth on 46 points. Arnett Gardens, same point as Portmore, with Portmore having a better goal difference. They're in fifth on 46 points as well, yes. Waterhouse, this is where it gets interesting. This is where it really gets interesting. So, Waterhouse, they're in 6th, and they're on 40 points. But listen, Montego Bay United, they're in 7th, also on 40 points. And so, by the looks of it, as I said, there's the top 6 teams that will qualify for the playoffs. So by the looks of it, Waterhouse and Montego Bay United, those games will be very interesting because they will be going for that number 6 spot. Waterhouse, they do have the advantage in terms of goal difference. So Montego Bay United, they have to win and hope that Waterhouse either lose their game or they draw. So it's a must-win situation for Montego Bay United, with the hopes that Waterhouse they lose or they draw, and for Waterhouse they would have to win. Also, they would have to draw or win depending on the results in the Montego Bay United match. And let's just, since that is so interesting, so Waterhouse they would play Harbourview, and Montego Bay United they will play Tivoli Gardens. So those matches will be very interesting, and so that's what's going on in the Jamaica Premier League. So next week we'll be able to tell you in terms of the teams that would have qualified for the playoffs, and then we'll tell you what the playoffs matchup will look like. All right, so we're moving on further afield. We move on to what's happening in the English Premier League. We'll talk about the matches that took place so far today and the matches that will come up tomorrow. So Manchester City, they defeated Crystal Palace 4-2 this morning. Aston Villa, team of Leon Bailey, they played to a 3-3 draw with Brentford. Everton defeated 9-man Burnley 1-0. Newcastle defeated Fulham 1-0. Luton, they defeated Bournemouth 2-1. West Ham, team of Mikel Antonio, defeated Wolves 2-1. Arsenal, they're currently leading Brighton 2-0. And in tomorrow's game, Manchester United, they will play Liverpool, and Sheffield United, they will play Chelsea. Tottenham, they will play Nottingham Forest. And in terms of the point standings currently in the English Premier League, Arsenal, they're still, well, if they go on to win this match, they will still be on the top of the standings with 71 points. And today would be their 31st game. And of course, the other teams, Liverpool, Man City, So Liverpool, they're in second on 70 points, but they have a game in hand because they're playing tomorrow. Manchester City, they are on 70 points as well. Aston Villa, they're on 60 points in fourth, and Tottenham, they're on 57 points in fifth. And of course, in terms of what's happening in the relegation battle, Luton is in 18th place, but there's still hope for them, as Nottingham Forest, they are in 17th place, same points as Luton, 25 points, with Nottingham Forest having a better goal difference than Luton. So that's a battle to watch. I think maybe the fat lady will start singing very soon for Burnley and have most definitely sung for Sheffield United. So yeah, I mean, things are heating up as it relates to the English Premier League, and of course, as I said, the Jamaica Premier League heading into its playoff stages. We're going to go for a break right here on Sports Talk, and when we come back, we'll give you more happenings that in terms of the sporting activities. And later on in the show, as I said, we'll be joined by David Riley, who will talk about Jamaica's performance in the Spice Island of Grenada last weekend for the Caribbean Games. We'll be right back here on Sports Talk.
It's time for you to win big with your Credit Unions of Jamaica Access Plus Debit MasterCard. Yes, every swipe, every spend brings you closer to not just rewards, but a chance to a new life experience. Introducing Access the Access Plus Router. Just use your Access Plus Debit MasterCard and every 3,000 Jamaican dollars spent earns you points to win big. We're talking iPhone, Amazon gift cards, and even a paradisiac trip to Cancun, Mexico. Every purchase you make is a new chance to win. Transform your everyday life with just a swipe. Start swiping and start winning with your Credit Unions of Jamaica Access Plus Debit MasterCard. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Think ahead, make a plan. We got the freedom of choice.
Lark, long-acting reversible contraceptives. I made my choice 6 years ago. I have an IUCD, also called copper T, and it will go and protect me from pregnancy for another 4 years at least. My choice was an implant. It lasts for 5 years. And when I'm ready for a baby, I just make doctor take it out. Contact the National Family Planning Board at 968-1632 to find out more about the Lark.
Think ahead, make a plan. We got the freedom of choice.
Get ready for an inspiring time inside Love in the Morning, Monday, April 8th. Listen throughout the show for tips on how to become the best version of who you are inside the feature, Becoming You. Grab your cup of coffee and start the day right with Morning Coffee Pick-Me-Up Devotional at 6 a.m. Cruise with Love on your radio at 7 a.m. inside Drive Time Jammings with great music to lift your day. At 8:30 a.m. inside The Healthy Way, we discuss benefits of physical activity. 9:30 a.m. is something more. Brought to you by the Faith Cathedral Deliverance Center. Stay with us this Pick Me Up Monday inside Love in the Morning, 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Communication is made up of so much more than just words. Non-verbal cues like hand gestures and postures all play their part. Is your body and what you're saying out loud in sync? Can you read the body language of others? Monday, April 8th on Family Time. Join host Reverend Marsha Lawrence Davids and guest Jehan White as we discuss the topic, The Way Our Body Talks. That's Family Time, Monday, April 8th at 5:30 p.m. here on the Family Station, Love 101.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the Family Station, Love 101. Yeah, okay. I thought I could hear myself for a second there. Right. So we're continuing in terms of what's going on. So we're going to jump to some basketball for all those basketball fans out there. We're going to talk about the games that took place last night, and we'll talk about the upcoming games for at least until Monday, and then we'll see what the standings look like because we're inching closer to the NBA playoffs time. So we'll see how the teams are positioning themselves for that. So last night, Hornets, they defeated the Magic 124-115. Pacers, they defeated Thunder 126-112. Trailblazers, they defeated Wizards 108-102. Celtics, they defeated the Kings by 1 point, 101 to 100. Bulls defeated Knicks 108 to 100. Heat defeated Rockets 119 to 104. Grizzlies, they defeated Pistons 108 to 90. Raptors defeated Bucks 117 to 111. Spurs defeated Pelicans 111-109. Mavericks defeated Warriors 108 to 106. Suns defeated Timberwolves 97 to 87. And Clippers defeated Jazz 131 to 102. So in terms of the games coming up tomorrow, or rather, we should start today. Lakers, they will play Cavaliers. That game kicks off today at 2:30. The Nets, they'll play the Pistons. That's today at 6 o'clock. Grizzlies, they'll play the 76ers. That kicks off at 7 p.m. Nuggets, they'll play the Hawks, and that kicks off at 8 p.m. And tomorrow, the Pacers, they will play the Heat. Celtics, they'll play Trailblazers. Hornets, they'll play Thunder. Magic, they'll play the Bulls. The Suns, they'll play Pelicans. Raptors will play Wizards. Bucks will play Knicks. Spurs will play 76ers. Nets will play Kings. Warriors will play Jazz. And the Lakers will play the Timberwolves. And then we'll go to the point standings as it relates to the NBA. So on the Eastern Conference side, and we'll just do the top 6. Yes. So the top 6, Eastern Conference still leading is, and this is just on average after 77. Well, sorry, rather. After, this is about, I'm trying to figure out how many matches have been played so far, but I'll soon tell you how many matches. So, Celtics, they're leading. Bucks, they're in second place. Cavalier, they're in third. Magic, they're in fourth. Knicks, they're in fifth. Pacers, they're in sixth. Yeah, and I said I was gonna give you the top. Right, the top 6 as it relates to the Eastern Conference. On the Western Conference side, coming to you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Timberwolves, they lead on the Western Conference side. So in second place, you have the Nuggets. Thunder, they're in third place. Clippers, they're in fourth. Mavs, they're in fifth. And the Suns, they're in sixth. And of course, up to the 10th place will qualify for the playoffs. So 7th is Pelicans, Kings in 8th, Lakers in 9th, and Warriors in 10th. So still interesting days ahead as it relates to the NBA. As I said, they are approaching in that competition, approaching the playoffs. Right. So we'll see those coming up. And of course, when it gets down to the playoffs, we'll give you many more updates as it relates to that. All right. So as it relates to as I said, Carifta, for some of us, we only think that Carifta, in terms of Carifta games, only takes place for track and field. But whilst track and field is one of the events that take place for the Carifta games, also what happens at Carifta is the swimming. So right, so Jamaica would have finished 5th overall in terms of swimming. For the Carifta games that took place. I believe those games for swimming, they were held in Bahamas. Bahamas is a very strong team as it relates to the Carifta games and swimming. I think between themselves, Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago would have been sharing the titles for swimming as it relates to the Carifta games. But Bahamas always dominate, and of course, they would have again, I mean, in a good performance, dominated somewhat the Carifta games, and so as I said, Jamaica, they would have finished 5th overall. Yeah, the Jamaica team would have finished 5th overall. Very good performance, I think, by the Jamaicans. I mean, I still think that our swimming is still going through the not development stage, but there's still improvement that needs to happen in terms of swimming in Jamaica, and to see them going to the Carifta games and they had 19 medals at the Carifta game with a 28-member team. So that's not too bad. And then we had some stand-up performances by like Skylar Richards, who won the 50-meter backstroke for the girls 13 to 14 division. And there's also Kia Alert and Malcolm McKenzie. And of course, we'd also picked up medals in the 13 to 14 boys 4x1 freestyle relays. And so, so we did a fairly good, we put on a fairly good performance as it relates to the Carifta Games. As I said, Bahamas, they would have pretty much dominated. They pretty much dominated with like they went into Monday with like a 309-point leads, because whilst in the track and field sense they don't allocate points for like the gold medals one, it's just like it's like a medal table. On the side of like the swimmers, they do like point standings. So they do both the point standings and the point standing and the medal count. So each medal for them would count as points. So you'll have like some weird numbers like 2-4 and 2-5, and just like how at ISA Boys and Girls Championship we don't really do a medal count, but they do point standing. It's a similar as it relates to the Carifta Games. So I want to say congratulations to the Jamaican contingent who went to the Carifta Games in Bahamas. That's the swimming Carifta Games in relation to swimming. 28 medals, that's not bad at all. I think one of our better performances in recent time as it relates to the Carifta Games in specific the swimming aspect. Of course, Alia Atkinson, I saw her being one of the commentators at that particular event, so that was pretty good. It's pretty good to see. That was pretty good to see that, she has taken on more of that commentator type of coach type of thing. So that was good to see. So yeah. As I said, coming up in the next half of the show, we will be talking about the track and field aspect of Carifta. So if you want to hear what exactly happened in Grenada, yeah, man, and especially with those who have questions about the final event that happened, stick and stay. We're going to talk about that with our special guest today. So yeah, we'll be right back here on Sports Talk. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be right back here on Sports Talk.
Get ready for an inspiring time inside Love in the Morning, Monday, April 8. Listen throughout the show for tips on how to become the best version of who you are. Inside the feature, Becoming You. Grab your cup of coffee and start the day right with Morning Coffee Pick-Me-Up Devotional at 6 a.m. Cruise with Love on your radio at 7 a.m. inside Drive Time Jammings with great music to lift your day. At 8:30 a.m. inside The Healthy Way, we discuss benefits of physical activity. 9:30 a.m. is Something More, brought to you by the Faith Cathedral Deliverance Center. Stick and stay with us this Pick Me Up Monday inside Love in the Morning, 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Communication is made up of so much more than just words. Non-verbal cues like hand gestures and postures all play their part. Is your body and what you're saying out loud in sync? Can you read the body language of others? Monday, April 8 on Family Time. Join host Reverend Marsha Lawrence Davids and guest Jehan White as we discuss the topic, The Way Our Body Talks. That's Family Time, Monday, April 8 at 5:30 p.m. here on the Family Station, Love 101.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Like long-acting reversible contraceptives. I made my choice 6 years ago. I have an IUCD, also called copper T, and it will go and protect me from pregnancy for another 4 years at least. My choice was an implant. It lasts for 5 years. And when I'm ready for a baby, I just make doctor take it out. Contact the National Family Planning Board at 968-1632 to find out more about the law.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Hi, welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And of course, I did promise that we will have a special guest as we will get the ins and outs of what happened with the Jamaica team at the Carifta Games 2024 that happened the last weekend. We have online Coach David Riley. Coach, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good.
Fantastic. I was wondering for a while if the phone line was gonna work. What it's working, so we'll continue while it's giving us the mileage. Right. Yeah. Before I get into the specifics of Carifta, last week I did big you up, but now that you are here, I just want to say, in terms of your role, being the head coach at Excelsior, job done, well done for the ISA Boys and Girls Championship. Your team did a fantastic job, and I gave you your credit last week, but because you're here, I just want to start with that. So congratulations to you and your Eagles team, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, great. So this is your how many times now you've been the head coach of the Jamaica Carifta team?
I'm not sure.
Before, I'm gonna start in terms of the socials, right? Because I saw you made a tweet early on this week, which I found very interesting. And you were talking about not having or not being able to. Well, there were not a lot of protests that you had to do at the Grenada Games. So, as the head coach, generally, how was the games for you, being head coach of the Jamaica team?
It was good.
Mm-hmm.
So, the decision
For you, the Grenada Games, in terms of rating them on a scale in terms of the other championships you've been to. I mean, I don't really want to put in Bahamas because I know Bahamas was so bad last year, but let's take up Bahamas for a second and look back at all the other championships that you've been leader. How do you think in terms of you'd rate in terms of the performance of, like, generally in terms of your work that you had to do? How much would you give it out of 10?
because that's true.
performance of the athlete now in terms of our own athletes. As head coach or as a technical director, what performance would you say stood out to you the most?
That one is tough. I think that not many other.
All right, great. So I want to go to the event before I go into any other thing, the final event, because that to me was, I think, if there was any controversy or anything that happened at the Carifta Games that would have stood out in a bad light, it would have been that under 20 boys 4x4 final. Were you there trackside, and can you tell us exactly what happened from your perspective?
Well, I actually was at the start.
like any championship, Coach Riley, you would agree. And I only spoke about it because I thought you were closer to what was happening. But in terms of definitely the performances in terms of the athletes would have definitely been greater than that specific event that happened. So I don't think that people think that it's overridden, but it's something to talk about.
Yeah, it's memorable.
Your response becomes very interesting because you told me you'd spoke with the boys before in terms of getting the qualification for the under 20, and it would have shown in terms of especially how Jacon Coke would have ended the race, because seeing that the time finals would have come back so close and we were almost like 50 meters in front of the competition, so he didn't have to run through the line the way that he did. But in terms of obviously the thought that you gave to them really pushed them to do what was necessary, even though they were so far ahead.
Right, so that's actually
In terms of the overall, because I know we spoke about the track side, but how was the logistics for you overall at the Carifta Games today, last weekend? I know probably Grenada, probably one of the smaller islands. I kind of alluded to it earlier, but I wanted to ask you specifically in terms of getting from hotel to trackside to warm ups. How was it for you and the team?
it was okay. I mean,
I'm going to ask you to stay with us. We're going to go for a break right here on Sports Talk on the Family Station. When we come back, we will continue with Coach David Riley, who was the head coach, technical director for the Jamaica team last weekend at the Carifta Trials. We'll be right back here on Sports Talk on the Family Station, Love 101.
Music is the soundtrack of our daily lives. It drives business, it entertains, and we are that crucial link between the makers and users of music. We are Jams, representing local and international producers, labels, and performers, providing global coverage in the collection of airplay and public performance royalties for the best of the best in the music industry. We deliver results. We deliver royalties. Find us at jamsonline.com or call 876-978-1010. Jams, we stand up for music rights. Importers. Shipments requiring you to pay customs duties and taxes are cleared on a customs goods declaration, known as an IM4 or IMS4. Ask your clearing agent to provide your customs declaration, customs assessment notice, and customs receipt once duties and taxes are paid. Where your clearing agent may not be able to provide the IM4 or IMS4, request your customs goods declaration registration number or C number, which can be used to verify your payments. Importers, request your IM4, IMS4, or C number. It is your right. For details, email the Jamaica Customs Agency at public.relations@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the Family Station, Love 101 FM. We are still joined on the phone by Coach David Riley, head coach at for the Jamaica team at last week's Carifta team. Coach Riley, still with us?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. All right, so we were talking about, and that's one of the things I was coming to, because you said the Jamaica team was how many? 96?
93.
93. Wow, that's a lot. That's probably that was probably one village in Grenada. I'm just
and Jamaica was to spend, and we usually go back home even after we finish. So it's a very important for us from a development standpoint. We all
all right. So, and on to another thing, because one of the concerns in terms of, and I will ask you both in your position as head coach of Excelsior, and of course leading the team to the Carifta Games. Do you think that these Carifta Games happen? The turnaround time for the athletes is too fast between Champs and Carifta Games.
yes, it is. It is difficult. When you think even of like spectacular the captain, I mean, there is 10 events in the captain over 2 days, and a week later they come and do a captain, which is over 2 days. I mean, that's a lot of work. And you just have to plan and take deep breaths and I don't know how
It. All right. So, and then in terms of on the same topic, how do you, as a coach, because you would still have athletes going to the Carifta game. How do you, as a coach, not only your athletes but continue to condition these athletes? Because you guys, the team would have traveled on Thursday, right? Or was it Wednesday? Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday. So you'd have championships would have ended on Saturday. Months. Do anything, and then they travel on Thursday. They probably do some warm ups on Friday for competitions and for competitions.
Most of them wouldn't be doing much. I mean,
Okay. All right. Not bad, but I still hold the opinion that since Carifta is set, I still hold the opinion that somehow ISA should be able to switch champs for us to, I think, have not better quality athletes, but in the sake of the athletes, for them to get more rest time.
Interesting.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right, so let's go around. Let's go over to in terms of injuries, because I know in terms of, and I'll speak of one particular athlete, Nicoy Bramwell didn't sort of look himself at champs. Looks as if he somehow picked up a little niggle or something, but he turns it around a few days later and put down a fantastic time at Carifta Games. Talk to me about Nicoy and his performance at Carifta.
Well, before professional around the I think he had in his mind to defend his title, and he won the 400 under 17 last year in the Bahamas.
Right.
So he was returning as a defending champion. I mean, he knew what the record was from last year. So in his mind, he wanted to compete, and that he did. We're happy that we set goals and work towards them and achieve them, and we celebrate with them whenever they find the success in their efforts.
All right. So that's good. I mean, everybody was concerned, but to see him come out and breaking the record, being able to break a 20-year-old record, I think was good, and I'm sure will motivate him for the other competitions that will come for the rest of the year. So that was good. Another, I would say, I don't think it was a controversial point, but another point I want to talk to you about is that of the Austin Seeley Award. And I guess your understanding of how it works, even though that's something that is chosen by the organizers, but I think a lot of Jamaicans, without even bias, other performances we thought would have stood out, like the young man from Bahamas in the pole vault and other athletes, but it was given to the Trinidadian long jumper. And so they were kind of question marks as to say, based on how we would have seen the Austin Seeley Award be given out before, we're trying to, come up with what it takes to get that award. So what's your take on it?
I mean, the athletes will be given to the best performance of the meet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily the best. If you win 2 medals, that is the quality of the performance that you would have done. What I find is that the to better. So it's not a simple way of performance. In fact, when we are having trouble with the concept as well, and so they decide to performances comparatively to the other athletes within their group. So difficult. So when you look at it, sometimes both sides of that are most times than not. But there are other
As the coach, because we're here and we're like, yeah, yeah, maybe not. All right, so with the last, we have run about a minute left on the show, but with that, I just wanna, on a lighter note, there's always seems to be a lot of competition against the Jamaican athletes, and there were two comments made, I think, after the boys 4x1 under 17. Malik Nugent, your athlete, would have referred to the Trinidadians as Trinby as being soft. And then, of course, when that athlete would have won in the under 17 division, he would have called that the Jamaican soft. What was the atmosphere like for our athletes being there? The overall atmosphere for them. What was it like for them?
Our athletes are fine with whatever. Funny. I mean, I like to work for yesterday. I was exactly. And we're like, what are you doing? What was that? I didn't say it. That is what it is. What did it do by the same? I'll tell you, I said, you should go tell this story. He said, no, you didn't even tell. I said, so, what Jamaica was taking it for? So, I was, I said, but actually, that is the world. I mean, those cases they're too really sour. They're just really sour to the business. Exactly. So, they were like,
availing yourself to come and talk to me today. It was very, very interesting to hear your perspective in terms of the Carifta Games. Congratulations to you, the coaching staff, and the athletes for their work done last week in Grenada, and just continue being, just the great coach that you are. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you so much. Bye-bye. All right, that was Coach David Riley speaking to us about the Carifta Games last week in the Spice Island, Grenada. That's all the time we have left today on Sports Talk. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Of course, this and every other show is available on the app, Love 101 app in the App Store and the Google Play Store. And of course, you can always go back to YouTube and Facebook and catch this episode. We'll do this next week between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. We do it every week, every Saturday between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. Do enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Goodbye.